What we need is not more medications, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. Hello and welcome. This is Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. I'm delighted once again to be your host today, being the last edition in the month of November 2025. Wait a minute, 11 months the year almost already gone. We have barely 5 weeks left in the rest of this year. We want to thank God for preserving us till now, for helping us to come this far. And we know that he who began the good work in us will complete it until the day of Christ. I pray that God will begin to put the icing on the cake for us as the year comes to a close. And I pray that any outstanding desire that you still carry in your heart, God will attend to them and fulfill them before the year rolls away. And we pray in advance that God will begin to get the month of December and indeed the new year 2026 ready for us. He will roll out the red carpet to welcome us into the brand new year in Jesus' mighty name. You'll be there and I'll be there by God's grace. Amen. So in our conversation on breast health today, we want to resume where we left off. Our axiom is what we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. And I do believe that the knowledge you are receiving right now is equipping you to be able to care for yourself, your general well-being, and also care for your breasts, particularly as women. So today, we recap on what we have discussed so far out of the 4 things we set out to look at. We have looked at various breast diseases. We have looked at how to care for our body in order to prevent those breast diseases. That's the one we are still on. We have looked at only one component on caring for our body, and that is our diet and lifestyle. And we have 2 sides to that: things to remove from our diet and lifestyle, things to add to our diet and lifestyle. I hope that makes a lot of sense, and I hope that you have been implementing this very strategy in order to improve your general well-being on the one hand and your breast health on the other hand. So today we are going to go to the number 2 thing that we have to do to maintain breast health, and that is balancing your hormones, hormonal balancing. Now, hormonal balancing is perhaps the most important thing a woman in particular should strive at achieving. This is because hormonal balance, or hormonal imbalance I should say, leads to many female problems, including breast diseases. Perhaps the most important hormones to normalize are estrogen, progesterone, prolactin, luteinizing hormone, otherwise known as LH, and follicle stimulating hormone, otherwise known as FSH. Once these 5 hormones in particular, among others, are all in their normal range, then you have balanced out particularly your sex hormones. And the most natural place to start any discussion about hormones and breast health, of course, is with estrogen. Now, the British spell estrogen as O-E-S-T-R-O-G-E-N. That's British English, O-E-S-T-R-O-G-E-N, estrogen. Americans spell it as E-S-T-R-O-G-E-N. The O is missing there, but the pronunciation is the same, estrogen, estrogen. Now, this is because estrogen plays a key role in breast health. That's why it's important naturally to start our discussion about hormones regarding breast health with estrogen. For example, estrogen is essential for bone growth. It also promotes digestive functions as well as healthy blood clotting. Many people don't realize that. They think estrogen is just for making babies. Okay? Estrogen also allows women to give birth. That's the one that most people are aware of. It also influences certain breast diseases, by the way. Now, so no doubt, a woman's body needs estrogen. However, a woman goes through life, okay, in a kind of, it goes like phase to phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3 to phase 4. And as a woman goes through those phases, pre-menarche, menarche, childbearing years, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. Those are the different phases of a woman's life. As a woman goes through life that way, it's always important to maintain the proper balance of estrogen in order to support general health, breast health in particular. Now, estrogen is not really a single hormone, as some people think. It's actually 3, and I think I alluded to that in the previous episode. 3 separate hormones that play different roles in a woman's breast health. And the 3 forms of estrogen are E1, E2, and E3. E1 is known as estrone, E-S-T-R-O-N-E. E2 is known as estradiol, and E3 is estriol. Okay? Now, these 3 forms of estrogen are produced by the ovaries, by the adrenal glands, which are sitting on top of our 2 kidneys, and by adipose tissue, which is body fat, all right? Particularly during the pre-menopausal years. Now, a healthy balance among these 3 different types of estrogen and as little as possible of E2 that you have in your body is most ideal for a woman's breast health. Okay? Now, fluctuates during perimenopausal years. Now, perimenopausal years are like 2 to 7 years before a woman enters into full menopause. They're called perimenopausal years. Some, it will last for about 2 years, some 3, some 4, some 5, up to about 7 years, okay? Now, fluctuates during those perimenopausal years, and it drops sharply once a woman enters into full menopause. But it doesn't completely stop. It just drops to the lowest level in menopausal years. Now, E3 is the estrogen that is most abundant in a woman's body before she enters menopause. The most abundant type of estrogen in the body is E3, okay? And E3 is considered a weak form of estrogen, but it is the form that is most valuable. E3 offers protective support for breast tissue, okay? Now, menopausal and postmenopausal women make less and less of E3. Less and less of E3. Now, E1 and E2 are the 2 stronger estrogens that are usually prescribed in traditional hormone replacement therapy, for most postmenopausal women. So, to balance hormones, a woman must avoid, number 1, hormone disruptors. You want to balance your hormone. The first thing to do is to stop the things that disrupt your hormones, that create imbalance in your hormones in the first place. They are called hormone disruptors. And that's, I think I have mentioned it in a previous episode. Hormone-laden food, particularly hormone-laden cow milk, is a hormone disruptor. Pesticides are hormone disruptors. Plastic is a hormone disruptor. Okay? That's the first side of it. Avoid anything that can upset the balance. And then the second side of it is to start eating hormone balancing foods. And what are hormone balancing foods? That will include avocado pear and tiger nuts and many, many more. But those are the ones that are readily available and that I recommend regularly and traditionally to people seeking to balance their hormones, people who are dealing with issues arising from hormonal imbalance. They are dealing with, breast health. They are dealing with fibroids. They are dealing with cysts, breast cysts, ovarian cysts, uterine cysts. They are dealing with PCOS. They are dealing with menstrual irregularities. All of these things arise in a woman's body as a result of hormonal imbalance primarily. And avocado pear and tiger nut play a very good role in balancing out hormones. Those are hormone balancing foods. You stop the ones that are creating the imbalance, and then you introduce the ones that will restore balance, all right? And if you look at the avocado pear, when I was discussing your food and your health, I mentioned a few things, the A, B, C, D code, those of you who still remember. A is the architectural code, B is the Bible code, C is the color code, and D is the delivery season code. In the architectural code, I said every fruit and seed and nut has its own unique architectural design, its unique shape, okay? The way it is made by God. Avocado has this unique shape, and the shape of the avocado, the architecture of the shape of the avocado resembles the shape of the uterus, the womb of a woman. Okay? So the avocado already shows that, yes, it is good for the womb. That's why I include avocado pear, tiger nut milk, among other things like ginger, turmeric, garlic, and omega-3 oil and what have you when I'm giving a recipe to people to make their smoothie in order to balance their hormones. Okay? So a good way to ingest these, the avocado pear, the tiger nut, is to make smoothies from them. Tiger nut milk can easily be made at home. You soak the dried tiger nuts overnight, you blend them in a good blender, and then you use a clean white piece of cloth to squeeze out the milk, or you can use a nut milk maker. The machine exists. You can buy it and use it to make your nut milk. Okay? Now, so when you make your tiger nut milk, then you can use it to make your smoothie. Now, fresh tiger nuts do not need to be soaked if it is fresh one you have, all right? Now, once the milk has been made, you pour the tiger nut milk back into your blender. You add a peeled avocado pear, not the seed, the flesh, the butter that looks like butter. That's the one you add to the tiger nut milk, okay? And a few peeled bananas to sweeten, or mangoes to sweeten, all right? Blend them together, and then you make a hormone-balancing, delicious smoothie. Now, this smoothie can be taken as breakfast with no other food. It's very filling, very satisfying, very nourishing. It's delicious. It's nutritious. It's healthful. Very filling. It can sustain you till lunchtime. And if you wish, you may add one or more of the following optional, healthful ingredients to the smoothie. You can add turmeric to increase its anti-inflammatory property, omega-3 oil to improve its anti-inflammatory property, coconut oil to boost energy, garlic, a broad-spectrum mild antibiotic, and blood thinner, ginger, anti-nausea, in case avocado makes you feel like vomiting, Ceylon cinnamon, in case you want to also regulate your blood sugar, green leafy vegetables to introduce some chlorophyll, some folate, all right, to boost your blood, and what have you. Now, so that is the number 2 thing you do to improve your breast health or prevent breast diseases. Number 1, a balanced diet. Remove the things to be subtracted, bring in the things to be added. Number 2, balance your hormones. You need to first of all go and test. You can go to the lab, any good lab, tell them you want to do your hormonal assay. It's a blood test. Hormonal assay, and then give them the names of the specific hormones you want to check. Tell them you want to check for your estrogen. You want to check, they can do E1, E2, E3, you can do estradiol, they can do all the different things that I said, estriol and all of that. And then you can do luteinizing hormone, LH, you can do FSH, you can do progesterone, you can do prolactin. Those 5 will be fine in relation to your reproductive health, your breast health, and what have you. All right. So once you have tested for your hormone, you've done your hormonal assay, you see whether they are balanced or not balanced. And then you can, if they are not balanced, you do what I have just suggested to balance. Even if they are balanced, if you do this smoothing and all of that, they will sustain it that way, okay? You keep it that way. The third thing that I strongly recommend you do to maintain breast health, I have already alluded to it last week, and that is breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is a major strategy for long-term breast health, okay? And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more in the course of this series in this season, breastfeeding. All right. And then the issue of mastitis, which is most often found in new mothers. That's inflammation of the breast, usually of nursing mothers. Now, women who are not nursing babies can also get mastitis, by the way, but it's not nearly as common as in breastfeeding mothers. Now, mastitis can be very painful, and women who have that, can use warm compresses. Doctors also sometimes will prescribe antibiotics, to help the situation, to improve the health of a woman. And then, of course, there is also the issue of supplementation. Supplements could be very, very useful in caring for a woman's breast. Now, I'll be talking about some popular breast-supporting supplements out there that we can get, but don't just rush to start buying these things. Get advice from qualified professionals to guide you as to what is okay for you or not. Now, we're going to go on the break. When we come back, I will resume with this list of supplements that are very good in supporting breast health. Don't go away. I'll be back very shortly.
If you accidentally fall out of a plane, most people think you should aim to land in water. But in reality, that's the worst option. Water doesn't compress well. And falling at over 200 miles per hour, the impact feels just like hitting concrete. It's better to choose a different landing spot. For example, DIS 2026, the Divine Impact Summit 2026. From January 29th to February 1st, 4 days of life-changing impact await you, grounded in knowledge and understanding. Here, you're not crashing. You're landing safely in wisdom, revelation, and divine insight. Choose the softest landing spot for your life. Be part of DIS 2026 and experience transformation that lasts.
Meet Emily. She's passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is so mindful.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to lead a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.
Welcome back. This is still Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. Before we went on that short break, we were talking about balancing your hormones as the second major step to take in order for you to prevent breast diseases or reverse existing breast diseases. And then we also discussed the issue of breastfeeding as a key and critical factor in preventing breast diseases. But as you breastfeed, some people develop, sore in the nipple or inflammation, as a result of breastfeeding, mastitis, okay, which can be addressed with compresses and antibiotics and some other kind of creams that are normally recommended. Okay, now before we went on the break, I mentioned the fact that there are certain supplements that are very, very helpful in breast health. And I promise I'll be coming back to share those supplements with you. And then I gave a warning, don't rush to the supermarket or online to start ordering. Okay, work with a professional to determine what is best for you before you jump and start swallowing, supplements. So which one is the first one that I'm going to be recommending for breast health? Again, I've mentioned it earlier. I think that was last week. It's called I3C, indole 3-carbinol, or the metabolite DIM, D-I-M. This is available as supplements in capsule form. You can obtain them either online or from any health store. All right, and instructions and directions on how to take them are usually stipulated. Or, on the other hand, you can get this same thing, indole 3-carbinol, from cruciferous vegetables. You can get it from cabbage, from broccoli, from cauliflower, from kale, from Brussels sprouts, and what have you. That is, if you do not have thyroid health issues. This is where the balance comes in. Now, because cruciferous vegetables are also contraindicated for thyroid health. Those who have thyroid problems, thyroid disease, hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, okay? Because they are considered as goitrogens. But otherwise, they are very good for every other person to consume. But in case you want to get it in the form of supplement, you do not want to take the cruciferous vegetables because of its contraindication. You just want the indole 3-carbinol alone, then you can buy it in the form of capsule. Then there is also the one that is called Breast Health Formula. Again, there are different brands. There is Swanson's Breast Health Formula. There is Life Extension Breast Health Formula. Now, Swanson is a brand. Life Extension is a brand. And they have their products called Breast Health Formula. It's got some of the nutrients and phytochemicals that support breast health in them. A third supplement that will be very, very helpful in breast health is anything that is iodine rich, or iodine supplement like Energy Iodine, or Iodoral, or Iosol, or kelp, or sea vegetables. Again, that's another category of vegetables. I mentioned cruciferous vegetables, nightshade vegetables. Again, this is another place to encourage you to enroll for Module 1 in our Healthy Living Institute. Go to www.lms.rafainstitute.org and enroll for Module 1. You will learn again about classification of vegetables. There is another class of vegetables called sea vegetables. They are very rich in iodine. There you have kelp, you have brown seaweed or modifilan, you have blue-green algae, you have spirulina, you have chlorella. These are all sea vegetables high in iodine, and they're very good for women's breast health in particular. Now, then there is this other supplement that can come either in the form of capsules or in the form of a cream for topical application on the skin. It's called Wild Yam Cream or Balanced Woman Cream. Now, there is a particular brand from Hallelujah Acres, which is very good, Balanced Woman Cream. And there is one from Swanson's Vitamins, it's called Wild Yam Cream or Progesterone Cream. Now, for those who have tested, okay, they've done their hormonal assay and they found out that they are very low on progesterone, you can acquire this cream, buy this cream, and then you apply it on the part of your skin where they can readily be absorbed through the skin into your bloodstream to elevate your progesterone level. Now, I have lost count of how many women who have been suffering from miscarriages due to low progesterone. Now, when a woman is low on progesterone, she usually will miscarry in the first trimester, usually not able to take her pregnancy beyond 8 to 9 weeks before the pregnancy comes down. So when people lose their pregnancies that way and we do a hormonal assay on them and find out that they have hormonal imbalance, particularly low progesterone, I usually place them on Balanced Woman Cream. Of all the options, that's the one that is not contraindicated for pregnant women. And all you need to do is to just rub it at the back of your hands in the morning, maybe around your neck. You can even rub it on the breasts. You can rub it on the soles of the feet. Out of those 4 locations I have mentioned, you choose one location in the morning, you rub the cream. Just you press as if you are pressing the same size of toothpaste that you will use on your toothbrush. Just very tiny. You press it and then you rub it on one location in the morning, one location in the evening. Next day, you choose another 2 locations. So you keep rotating it around. It's absorbed through the skin and it helps to balance your progesterone level. Progesterone is that hormone that does not allow your womb to contract, okay? So you don't expel the baby, you don't miscarry the baby. Now, when progesterone drops dangerously low during pregnancy, contraction will set in and the baby may be expelled after a few weeks, and then the woman has, a miscarriage. But many women, have lost count of them that had that issue, and I tell them, once you get pregnant, let me know. In the early stages, I'll place them on Balanced Woman Cream, which is a form of progesterone cream actually extracted from wild yam. It's a cream, you just rub it on the skin, and they'll keep rubbing it morning, evening for the 9 months of pregnancy, and it keeps the pregnancy going until they deliver very safely. There are many, many couples who have come to me and have been helped that way, all right? So that's one of the most popular ones that I normally recommend. By the way, it's not just for pregnancy, it's also good for breast health. And then we have lycopene. Lycopene comes from red fruits like tomato, like watermelon. They're also good for breast health. And then vitamin D3 is very critical for breast health as well as prostate health in men. For low vitamin D is one of the reasons that men develop prostate problems more, than others. It is said that black people usually have more prostate issues than other races, or like Caucasians, like Asians, and what have you. And one of the theories that explains that is that because black people have melanin pigment, which makes our skin black, and that does not allow us to make a lot of vitamin D when we are under the sun. It's to protect us from the damaging rays of the sun, our skin color, okay? Because we live in the tropics where there's abundant sunshine. So God gave us melanin as a protection. So we have to stay under the sun for long to be able to make enough vitamin D for ourselves, and the sun will not damage our skin. If a Caucasian, a white person, stays under the sun for 30 minutes, he will have made enough vitamin D that a black person will make in 2 hours. But then, if the white man stays under the sun for too long, the sun will start damaging the skin of the white man. But the black man can stay under in the sun from morning till night, and there will be no problem. No skin cancer, no wahala. All right? So, vitamin D, which is made under the sun, protects the breast and protects the prostate. So, when a man is low on vitamin D, low level vitamin D, again, you can do a blood test for that. That's part of the screening. You can screen yourself when next you go for your medical checkup. Tell them to test your vitamin D3 level. If your vitamin D level is low, you are at higher risk for developing breast cancer and developing prostate cancer. But when your vitamin D level is very high, then you are protected. I mean, when I say protected, it is not 100%, okay, but it means your risk is lower in developing breast problems and prostate problems. So you can supplement on vitamin D3. But then let me add this one. If you are taking vitamin D3 as a supplement, then you need to add vitamin K2. There is vitamin D2, vitamin D3, different types of vitamin D, and vitamin K1, vitamin K2. So you add vitamin K2 to vitamin D3. That's the balance, all right? And that's the best way to take them. And then another supplement you can get is lignans, which is found in flax seeds, sesame seeds, and what have you. Then curcumin and turmeric, these are breast protective supplements. Then omega-3 oils, I've mentioned that earlier. You can get fish oil, Udo's perfected oil blend, flaxseed oil, hemp seed oil, krill oil, then green tea. I keep mentioning green tea, green tea, green tea. If you don't like green tea as a tea to drink, you can buy green tea extract as a capsule, okay, and take that. Now, there are estrogen receptors within the breast, within the womb, as well as other female organs and glands. Receptors are like sockets to which estrogen molecules or substances that mimic estrogen can bind or attach to. Once a receptor is taken up by estrogen or any other substance, it's no longer available for other molecules, or substances. Now, any substance that binds to the estrogen receptors in the breast or the womb can be stored there and can affect the health of the breast and the womb. Now, this situation offers every woman at least some control over which substances take up residence in their breast or in their womb. Now, when all or most of the receptors in the womb or in the breast are taken up by estrogen, then there will be too much estrogen in the womb or in the breast to stimulate the growth of fibroid in the womb or lumps in the breast. Okay? Now, in the same way, when there is too much estrogen present in the tissues of the breast, all kinds of breast diseases can develop, ranging from breast lumps to breast cancer. And this is the reason that I always suggest that women should eat iodine-rich foods or take iodine supplements. Now, I'm not talking about the iodine in your first aid box that they used to dress wounds when you were young. Okay, I'm talking about, nutritional iodine. Find it in iodine-rich vegetables, sea vegetables, or you buy them in the form of supplements, liquid or capsule or tablets. Now, iodine binds to the same receptors in the breast as estrogen. So if a woman's diet is rich in dietary iodine, then iodine becomes a competitor with estrogen in the breast as well as in the womb. Once iodine takes up some of the receptor sites, then less and less estrogen will concentrate in the breast as well as the womb. So this is an indirect way of reducing the amount of estrogen present in the breast and in the womb per time. And when you reduce the amount of estrogen, you are reducing indirectly the incidence of breast diseases, as well as uterine fibroids and even endometriosis. So again, iodine-rich foods include sea vegetables. I mentioned them before: blue-green algae, spirulina, chlorella, brown seaweed, kelp, and what have you. Then organic cranberries, organic strawberries, organic potatoes, tomatoes, onions, garlic, pineapples, grapes, Himalayan salt, navy beans, bananas, green beans. All these are rich in iodine, particularly when they are grown on iodine-rich soils. I must say that, you see, apart from sea vegetables and Himalayan crystal salt that are harvested from the sea, as it were, all the fruits and vegetables that I have mentioned earlier, they are sources of dietary iodine, and they must have been grown on iodine-rich soil for them to contain any iodine at all, because the iodine in them, they get it through their roots from the soil. So if the soil on which they are grown lacks iodine as a mineral, then there will be no iodine in the grapes or in the tomatoes or in the potatoes or in the strawberries or cranberry or beans or banana or green beans or what have you. Okay? Now, so even though plants, animals, and humans can synthesize, certain vitamins in their bodies, like we can synthesize vitamin D, for example, when we stay under the sun, and some animals can actually also synthesize vitamin C. Humans cannot synthesize vitamin C in their body. Even though we can synthesize certain vitamins in our body, yet no living thing manufactures minerals. All our minerals must be obtained from the soil or from the water. And the way we get it from the soil is that plants serve as the intermediaries. The plant, through its root system, will go into the soil and suck up the minerals iron, magnesium, calcium, potassium, all of them. And then chelate them, add proteins to them to convert them to chelated form. So that when humans now harvest the plants, either their leaves or their fruits or their seeds or their tubers or whatever, and we eat it, we are eating the minerals that the plants have helped us to suck from the soil. We can't go into the soil directly and take the minerals and eat it. We cannot utilize it. The plant has to process it first, and then we get it from the plant. And so when we eat iodine-rich food like that, then you are protecting your breast from breast diseases. All right, this is how far we can go because I've been signaled that my time is up. And I want to wish you a happy month end. People say happy weekend in Nigeria. So let me say happy month end. We have just a few days to go before the month is over. The next time I see you on Exposé, it will be December already by the special grace of God. And I pray that God will preserve you, preserve me, and preserve everyone. If Christ tarries, we will see December. And then when I come in December, by the grace of God, in the early part of December, I'll be giving you suggestions additional suggestions rather, to enhance breast health. I'll bring it in a summarized form to make them very, very, straightforward and clear to you. And that will be in the first half of December, God willing. And then the second half of December, we'll be having our special editions for Christmas and the New Year. Thank you for spending your time with me again on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. I appreciate you all the time. Please share the video now. Having watched it, share it with all your friends and your contacts, and it will bless them. Again, I enjoy your feedback and your suggestions in the chat room, your thumbs up and your likes and all of that. Thank you. God bless you. Have a terrific week, and may the rest of the month be beautiful, be glorious, and be rewarding for you. In Jesus' name, I love you. Bye-bye.
If you accidentally fall out of a plane, most people think you should aim to land in water. But in reality, that's the worst option. Water doesn't compress well. And falling at over 200 miles per hour, the impact feels just like hitting concrete. It's better to choose a different landing spot. For example, DIS 2026, the Divine Impact Summit 2026. From January 29th to February 1st, 4 days of life-changing impact await you, grounded in knowledge and understanding. Here, you're not crashing. You're landing safely in wisdom, revelation, and divine insight. Choose the softest landing spot for your life. Be part of DIS 2026 and experience transformation that lasts.
Meet Emily. She's passionate about living a healthy life, but finds it difficult to access information on health and wellness.
Cancer is so findable.
That is until she discovered the online healthy living training offered by Reverend Tony Akinyemi on lms.rafainstitute.org. The online healthy living training program is a comprehensive interactive course that covers topics such as nutrition, fitness, stress management, and mental health. The course is designed to provide participants with practical tips and strategies to improve their health and well-being. Emily is now equipped with the knowledge and skills she needs to lead a healthy life. Join Emily and countless others in living a healthy life by signing up for the online healthy living training program today.